Hey guys, it's Harry here back again with another video. So you probably clicked on this video because you're getting poorer and poorer. Maybe your wages are going up, but you're not really feeling it. Things are getting more expensive, things are getting more costly. So I'm going to explain this via a theory called the K-shaped economy. So yeah, I'm going to go into more detail as to what it is, but people believe we are in like the K-shaped economy. So people are doing very well, people are not doing very well. And I'm going to kind of go into detail my thoughts, my opinions, and how I'm going to best position myself to do well in this unfortunate economy. So what you've got is you've got the upper arm who have ownership, essentially, in short. And then you've got the lower arm who don't have ownership. And they're maybe paycheck to paycheck workers. They're feeling their bills going up. They're feeling, things getting more expensive. Then you've got people who have ownership, who over the years, they're getting richer and richer. They're feeling better and better. They're like, I'm getting better and better at producing wealth myself. So what you've got is you've got people who don't own anything and people who own everything. Now, I know there's the whole Gary Stevenson thing about the billionaires just going to keep buying up assets. I feel like it's such a simple thing for like a complex issue. But essentially what you've got is you've got asset prices going up. So the upper arm are getting richer and richer. You've got the lower arm who are not in that boat. So you want to position yourselves like, right, how can I own the assets? How can I do it? So I'm going to break that down kind of, later on in the video. But well, to quote someone called Darius Dale from 42 Macro, I'd really recommend checking him out. He's someone who's really good. So he believes that paradigm A created the K. So it boosted capital owners and corporates, left the bottom half behind. So people, who own companies on the stock market, people who own stuff, they're getting richer and richer, as I said earlier. And excessive government spending and printing loads of money has crushed the bottom half of the K. So like the Fed's policy, as I put there, crushes the people at the bottom. People are really feeling, being crushed from those policies. Decisions like COVID, they printed so much money to save the global economy, but it was almost a crime really in the long run, right? Because people are really feeling it now. So you've got, like tariffs and austerity, which you probably do need it to compress the wealth gap, but we haven't had that since '08. If you look at times since '08, if you look at the stock market, we've not had a time where it's got closer. So what we've got is like a widening, when really we should have a widening closer. It keeps getting wider and wider. Then you've got stuff like Paradigm C. So this is another one that I mentioned, which is tax cuts and deregulation. So pro-growth blend. So it's Paradigm A plus a reshoring and reform. So they're three paradigms which I think are really good, but I'd definitely recommend checking out Darius Dale's stuff. But I feel like it's good to know that we haven't had a squeeze in the gap for a while. So it's really important to know governments keep printing money. That's like their solution to everything, and it's not going to be good in the long run. So what should you do, and how am I positioning myself and what I believe people should do? So I actively trade. So asset accumulation should be, the goal for most people to benefit from this trend that we're on, this unfortunate trend. So I like Bitcoin, gold, the Nasdaq. That's why I actively trade and so on. But you've also got to look to build skills. So you've got to look to increase your income, not decrease. A lot of people will think, right, I'm going to cut this membership, I'm going to cut this, I'm going to cut that. If you focus, I know it's not easy for everyone, people are busy and so on, but if you focus on building income skills, or you maybe move somewhere where there's lower cost, lower taxes, better opportunity, and then you add multiple income streams, you're going to be in a much better position. So yes, you can sit there, you can complain, but if you take agency over like your own life and like what you're going to do, then you're going to be in a better position. So that's what I do personally. So I'm looking to accumulate assets in the long run. I'm looking to learn skills that are going to make me better. I've recently moved to America from the UK. Better salaries, lower taxes, all that stuff. And then, I'd like to think, I've got on the path to building, or when I'm in, my 30s, for example, I'll have a lot of different multiple income streams. So I guess this is just take agency over your own life. Don't expect any free handouts. Like, the upside of that way of thinking is much better than, thinking, I'm never going to make it. I need handouts, right? So you've got to take agency over your own life. So that's how I'm positioning myself. That's what you've got to be doing. Take agency over your own life. But yeah, hopefully in this video I explained what the K-shaped economy is. People are living the best lives ever. People are living the worst lives. You could also argue you've got things like remote working is great, in office is not, and you kind of got that blend as well. It's like you've got people who can have a remote income in a much cheaper location, like I mentioned there, do really well, whereas you've got people maybe living in London who are on a low salary, maybe starting off their careers, who are really struggling. So that you've got that nice like blend, definitely. But yeah, hopefully this video just breaks down what the K-shaped economy is, how I'm approaching and positioning myself to benefit from it, because it's an awful thing, right? But there is nothing we can do about it to solve it, really. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one.